Hi, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video, and this is a paid request from Jonathan, aka Jerp Pen. Thank you so much for that. For those interested, requests in any type of videos, whether it be a topic, tier list, ranking, random thoughts, streams, commentaries, video game playthrough for an hour, a full playthrough, movie review, re-review, random thoughts, whatever the case may be, reaction, or commentary. PayPal is the best way to do it. Do have a Cash app as well. Links are down in the info box below here. Not by Dick, but below the. If you want to, feel free. I'll get to it as soon as I possibly can. For those who sent them, thank you so much. Not just for your generosity, but thank you for your patience. I really and truly do appreciate it. And you know what? Let's get right into it. Without lollygagging around. I'm pausing at the beginning. 3, 2, 1, pressing play. We are 1, 2, 3, 4 seconds in. We have the TriStar horse. Anytime I see this, I always think of Richard Pryor because there was a film he did with Gene Wilder called Another You. And the only good part was this where, whoa boy, fucking wings, what's going on? You hear a crash. Fucking white horse. Yeah. So, the Blob. Saw this on VHS back in the day. We had 2 VCRs. One for the rental copy, one for blank tape. Sometimes we put 3 or 4 movies on a tape. And this was the first on a tape. I think The Brain was on there as well. But I think that one was like the last one. So, bits of it got cut off, I think. But yeah, the Blob. Love this film. I love the way this opening title is. I love how the titles have this neon glow around it. It definitely elevates the sci-fi aspect of it. I think the music is really good too. Had this creepy vibe to it, as in, you know, there's humor in this film, but we are taking this serious. It's bloody. It's violent. It is a horror movie. And to me, one of the more underrated monster movies of all time. I really do feel that way. I feel as, you know, not only because it's something from space, just go to Earth, but also they give this scale. Because you think of the Blob and you think of Steve McQueen, and it was a very low budget film, very low budget movie. This is we have a scale to this. So we're showing the whole town, we're even showing it from space, and all these quiet moments before the town goes up shit creek at the end. The calm before the storm. Your quaint, small American town. And all the references to snow and skiing to really give the audience that feel of remember the cold, remember the snow, avalanche shooters, to establish that for the end of the film, so it just doesn't come out of nowhere. Now, I've always loved this film. It's one of my favorite films. I believe this was Abbeville, Louisiana. They shot this in. And the cast, the writing, the effects, the insane death scenes, the sense of humor, likable characters, excitement, there's action. This has everything I want in a movie. Good characters, good cast, excitement, thrills, chills, blood, gore, humor. I mean, I don't understand. Well, I don't agree with the fact that this film bombed so badly. Now, maybe it's because the Blob was always going to be a tough sell, because the name alone invokes laughter. When you say the Blob, people don't take it seriously. Because a blob, I mean, what you think of Blob in real life is a silly connotation, or the original film, which is looked at as more silly, goofy, low budget. So, are people don't take it seriously? Is this a goof? Is this a parody? And it wasn't advertised that well. Like, I'm using the VHS cover, which I think is much better. The theatrical poster, I thought, was just kind of lacking. Of course, those establishes shots is to show how the town's completely dead, unless it's the football game. Which is true because I lived not in the town, but near a small town. Yes, they were very much into with football. So you have Shawnee Smith here. My favorite performance from her. Beautiful, hot, sexy. And Shawnee Smith, I thought, did a wonderful job. She was a regular girl. She wasn't a one dimensional character, wasn't a victim, wasn't a bitch, wasn't a broke her nail dead weight. She could be tough, but she could also be vulnerable. Which seems like nowadays they have to be not vulnerable at all, and that equals good character. No, not really. The Shawnee has both qualities in this film. And of course, she would be on her way to success for the Saw films. She was in quite a few of them. She was even in Saw 10. And then, of course, the other guy here, we got Donovan Leitch, who in the movie is trying to make us think he's the lead character. Oh, there goes the Gatorade. And Donovan Leitch, I mean, he does a good job for the small screen time he has. He doesn't seem like a jerk, doesn't seem like a dick, doesn't seem like a douche. Donovan Leitch a year after would be in Cutting Class with Brad Pitt. But he does perfectly fine in his role. We got Kevin Dillon. I know people make fun of his mullet. I I like it. I mean, I want one. I shave my head, but I want a mullet. I love a mullet. And Kevin Dillon, of course, he was in Platoon. He was on Entourage later on, but this is my favorite role of his. Our true lead of the film. Just a badass character as Brian Flagg. I always wanted to keep calling him the wrong character, which is like the character name in The Stand. Because his name is also Flagg, but this is Brian. And see, this does a lot of things. It establishes Kevin Dillon's establishes the bridge for later on during the chase scene. Establishes his bike's screwing up, which is why he's out there fixing the bike. And a bit of his humility. I mean, they could have written this character where he looks at this old man and cusses him out, or flips him off, or instead he just smirks. And it gives that first impression for the audience. Again, do you have your first impression be, oh, well, this guy didn't mean anything and he's treating him like a dick, or he made a mistake, he's not going to cry about it, he's not going to get mad at the homeless guy. So here we have Jeffrey DeMunn and Candy Clark. Got a nice little establishment, but they have a little bit of thing going on. Which is why Jeffrey DeMunn is later at this place and he's dead. Because he went to meet her. Jeffrey DeMunn, he's been a cop in a lot of stuff. He was in the original The Hitcher, which is a classic. And he's been in a lot of stuff, Jeffrey DeMunn, if you look up his credentials. Worked with Frank Darabont a lot, which he wrote this film, Frank Darabont. And then you got Candy Clark here, very sweet, very likable lady. Feel bad when she gets killed. Candy Clark, she was in a lot of stuff. She was in... Was it To the Winged Serpent? I remember from that. Blue Thunder. And this is established. They had a little bit of thing going on. And this little note, which will be for later, which he'll come by at around 11, but sadly, in a way, gets him killed. But yeah, Chuck Russell directed this. He had directed A Nightmare on Elm Street 3, as well as, after this, The Mask, Eraser, The Scorpion King, and then Frank Darabont, who helped write the script to Elm Street 3 with Chuck Russell, helped write the script for this. Afterwards, Frank Darabont would go on to direct The Shawshank Redemption and The Green Mile and all this other stuff. You in the big leagues. Oh, the majors, sorry. And this sheriff, what I liked about him, I mean, this is later on, is that when he gets arrested, this guy actually uses his brains, and he even explains there's not a drop of blood on him, all this other stuff. Listen, he's a punk, but he's no killer. And I like that. It makes the sheriff not this one-dimensional, redneck, oh, this guy can't see the forest for the trees type of thing. Which makes it even more sad when he gets killed. Because you're like, oh, man. You know, that type of thing. I forget this guy's name. I'm bad with names, but I do like this guy. He shows up at the end, throwing the snowball, which I thought was a nice touch. Gotta have faith. Plus, it helps establish this environment. It helps establish the truck back there, which will be used later on. It shows that how Kevin Dillon knows about this, that he knows this guy, he's been in this place, he's been in this garage before. So again, so it doesn't come out of place. Like, wait a minute, how does he know about that? How does he know about this avalanche snow, shovel thing? Well, because he has a friendship with this guy, and he's obviously worked at the garage before. All these little things that you take for granted, but when you see as many movies as I do, not all movies are written like this. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a cool effect. Nowadays, that would all be CGI, and you would be able to tell it's CGI. You'd be able to tell it's a computer. But here, there's a certain physical, tangible quality that makes the scene work. At least for me, it makes the scene work fairly well. So, sadly, they don't do that stuff anymore. Now, the original with the Blob, I'm not a fan of. I know people are, and that's fine. I get it. It's the 50s. It was a low budget film, but I've never been a fan of that movie. I always thought it was silly. It was boring. It was pretty slow to get. And it's not just because it's a 50s movie. I think The Thing from Another World is a great one. Them, The Killer Ant, I think that's a good one. But the Blob, I always thought this remake just did everything so much better. Again, character-wise, dialogue-wise, effects-wise, intensity-wise, everything. So a few people here. We got in the back, the pharmacist. We got Art LaFleur, who we find out is Shawnee Smith's dad when he says the word ribbed in this misunderstanding, which we'll see later come to fruition. But I did the Art LaFleur, sadly, he's passed away not too long ago. He was in the first couple of Trancers films. He was in Air America. He was Babe Ruth in The Sandlot. But yeah, back there with the tie, Art LaFleur, great character actor. Kid needs a muzzle. Right there. Now, the guy who's the priest with the glasses, the other guy, is Del Close, the priest who you see at the very end of the film for the sequel band ending. Del Close was actually in the sequel to the Blob. Was it Beware the Blob, Son of the Blob, whatever title? Del Close plays the Reverend in this one. He was like a hobo, like a small part in that. So it's funny how, whether on purpose or not, he got to be in another Blob film. Now I forget this actor's name who plays the hobo here. But yeah, anytime you see, you know, some bubbling weird ooze, never go near it. Just food for thought. Never go near it. Never go near it. Never get near it. Just run, tell someone, and bring them over here. Because it's never going to end badly. I mean, it's always going to end badly. It's never going to end well. Again, never did. I mean, I don't even. But I like the look of it. I like how they make it move. The little tricks that they do. And that's a fun transition from that to actual Jello. I mean, stuff like that. You definitely some talented people behind this project. Now the kid on the right in the green T-shirt, who plays Shawnee Smith's brother, the one who gets his coat caught later on, the kid who doesn't die. I believe that's Michael Kenworthy. He would also be in Return of the Living Dead Part 2, which I think came out the same year as this. I think that was 88. But yeah, Return of the Living Dead 2. He was a star of that. Which I don't hate that film. You know, I don't think it's as good as the first, but I could watch it. I definitely think this is better. But yeah, it's sad that this film did not do well and it bombed. I mean, like I was saying, I think people, number one, they look at the Blob title, they think it's goofy and silly. They look at the marketing campaign, there's a big lack thereof. And even to this day, I don't understand why it gets slept on. People give their flowers to John Carpenter's The Thing, as they should. People give their flowers to David Cronenberg's The Fly, as they should. But they do not give their flowers to this, which I don't understand. I think IMDb was 6.7. I think that's way too low for a rating. Whenever people talk about remakes or talk about monster movies, this gets left behind, and I just do not understand it. I mean, this has everything. And if we establish the zipper here, we think, oh, it's just a little cute thing, but it's important later on. All these little things they establish for later on, that's good writing. Good script writing. They talk about the movie that they're going to watch, and then we see later at the movie theater. Even this misunderstanding here, I think is pretty funny. We find out who this is, and it just goes ribbed. This misunderstanding. Because that damn Scott Jesty. Now, not this guy, but the guy who did get the condoms. That was Ricky Paul Golden. He's the one that tries to be a bit handsy on the girl and gets comeuppance for that. Ricky Paul Golden, he was in a lot of soap operas, among other stuff. But yeah, we established why Kevin Dillon is out here in the woods. Why would anyone be out here in the woods? Well, because his bike broke down. He had to get a ride back, so he had to go back there and fix his bike. Because he's out there fixing his bike, then there's the homeless guy. Then he's got to get him help. Then we get to the doctor's office, and then we go from there. You go a strip. How do we get to C and D? Well, we gotta establish A and B. And this is a cool effect right there. He tries to cut his arm off, and then the blob just suches it up. It'll show you that the blob definitely wants that taste of blood. They immediately go there and suck it up. I think there's a Scott Jesty is a dead man. Scott Jesty's gonna die. And he's right, he does die. It's just not in the way he thought, but he does die. And that's always the balancing act, is that you have to establish the characters, but then you can't go too long because you're not giving the audience what they paid for, which is the monster and the victims and the mayhems. But at the same time, you want enough establishment to get at least a feel of the characters. Sorry, I'm listening to the dialogue. So yeah, you think this guy's going to be the lead, and then Kevin Dillon's going to be the sidekick, the rebellious guy, and all that jazz. But yeah, 1988, I mean, such a great year for movies. I mean, you had Die Hard, you had, for me, Rambo 3, you had Bloodsport, I believe Above the Law with Steven Seagal. I mean, you had, what's it, Hellbound Hellraiser 2, Fright Night 2, Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4, Phantasm 2, Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood. All sequels I enjoy, all sequels I like, some more than others. And even more, Critters 2, I mean, Ghoulies 2, like, there's a lot of fun horror sequels in that year. And I like this too. I like it establishes a softness to Kevin Dillon's character. And who notices it? Like this sweetness here, this softy. Who notices it? Camera pans up, and there's Shawnee Smith. And the look on her face, like, oh, so that's who this guy is. And that's the thing, you notice that stuff, well, for at least me, when I watch it. I'm like, there's a reason why As soon as he was being nice to the old man and you're gonna be okay, the camera pans right to her and she's staring right at him. Did you say that's the initial spark that she has for him? Granted, this time, think nothing of it because she's with the quarterback, or not quarterback. Was it the football player? He wasn't a quarterback, right? He was. I can't. Fuck. They showed it. I already forgot. But anyway, he was a football player. He's with the jock. But the Blob's gonna make that decision for her. This whole thing that the Blob was just, I need to find a way to get Tim Dillon and Shawnee Smith together. That was the Blob's whole plan all along. Now that doctor there is Jack Nance, who was the lead in Eraserhead. Sadly, he passed away in a very weird circumstances, which I'm not going to get into, but yeah, Jack Nance, the star of Eraserhead, is the doctor here. Again, a lot of cool, creepy visuals. Yeah, this doctor's over his pay grade. And there's such a gory, ghastly reveal here. There you go. That thing on his hand. Just the whole scene, I mean, just that great reveal, such good special effects by Tony Gardner and everybody. And then there's a reveal of the Blob here, hiding right behind the door. There's no way he could see it. So when he was in the waiting room, you saw how the hallway was empty. It stirred over here. You see how it sizzles, so it's like breathing acid. That's really what the Blob is, just breathing stomach acid. And of course, the primo shot, the VHS cover, which is this laser disc. I don't know if you can see it, but over here is a laser disc sent to me. There you go. Such crazy, insane effects. Like, this is such a primo effect scene, especially that they're just see like he's like disintegrating and being pulled away, just melting. And that's the thing, not only do you die, but you die such a horrible death. Like, that's the thing, like, every death here is so fucking brutal. The old man didn't just die, half his body was fucking melted into applesauce. Not only did this guy die, but he was fucking melted, his arm pulled off, and all that jazz. Then you don't just die, you die a fucking brutal way. Now the deputy here on the right is Paul McCrane, who was in the original RoboCop. We killed you, you're dead. And then he turned to Detective Avenger pretty much, and he got hit by a van and explodes at the end. And this movie moves at a good pace. And again, the score, the cast, everything works so well. I only have two nitpicks of the film. One, when you get to the third act, there's a couple shots where you could tell when the Blob is much bigger and there's humans in the front. There's a bit of a faded out bit of the color, so you can tell they're not in the same environment. And the sequel bait ending, because there was no sequel, so I'd rather just not have a sequel bait ending if you're not going to have a sequel. Now, on the right here, this is Ricky Paul Golden as Scott, and on the left is Erica Eleniak. which you may remember if you're a fan of Under Siege, like I am, and her come out of the cake. Titties! Beautiful titties. Erica Laniak as Vicky. His whole setup here is just crazy. Just look at this setup in the trunk. Like, look at all this shit. It's Hawaiian punch, strawberries, all sorts of liquor. Like, god damn. Now look at all that shit. Now we see how big this blob is, so granted, this leaves a bit of a... I mean, it's a sci-fi film, it's a movie, but you have to suspend your disbelief a bit where this giant mass somehow got into the car. She didn't fight it off, I guess, or it went all inside her body. Like, it fit all inside her body. There's no marks in the car. There's no marks on her. So, like, how did that all happen? I like the idea behind it. I love the idea. But again, you're thinking, you saw how big that blob mass was? It fit into that little body. And again, from 30 seconds, it went down her mouth and stuff. And it's like, her mouth's like this big. And granted, I mean, anytime if you try to wrap your head around it, there's no way. But I like the result, so maybe that's another nitpick. That'll be another nitpick. Maybe at least maybe if he had to go take a leak somewhere, give a little bit more time, maybe. But even then, there's a lot of questions with that. So you just again, how did the whole blob get inside his little body and enter her mouth and? Did nothing. She didn't fight it off. She didn't scream. She didn't shout. But I did. I let her go because I do love this reveal. I think this stuff looks cool, and this here, like, oh shit. Wait a minute. Pause. Okay, I'm paused at 32 minutes and 26 seconds. I want to see something real quick. Because... Is this edited? Yeah, this is... I don't know if it's just the version I'm watching, but this is edited. There's a bit where you see the tendrils coming out of like her eyes and face. He's like, Vicky, Vicky. And then it goes to him kicking his feet out the window. So, if you wonder, I'm watching this on a stream just to make it easier, but again, 32:26. I'm paused that. I need to do a little bit of investigation here, because I know that is, there's a bit of, I know I'm not losing my mind. So I'm just looking up a clip on YouTube. If it's just... Yeah, so there's this clip on YouTube, and the scene's there, And yeah, then you see it encompass the rest of him. So I'm doing some. Unless for some reason yeah, what the hell? I'm a bit confused. Yeah, okay, so yeah, I don't know why. So I would have to double check my Stream Factory Blu-ray because that's the only one I have Blu-ray wise to see if it's edited on there. Because I did for some reason here they took that bit out, which I don't know why that's the case. So I cannot find anything online about it. So yeah, apparently there is a version of this film where the death of Vicky and Scott Jesty is edited. I don't know which version that is. I have to double check my Stream Factory Blu-ray or if like what this is from, but yeah, I have to do some more research on it or something. So sorry about that. I know I broke from it, but yeah, this was very weird. So if it's in the version you're seeing, you're not knowing what the fuck I'm talking about. The version I'm watching, just to repeat one more time, is when her face is sucked in and then cut to Scott streaming and then his feet hitting the window. The bit where you see more of like these tendrils and coming out of her face, and then there's a shot of him here and the blob kind of encompasses, and then he gets his foot out. That stuff was missing in this cut. I don't know why. So if that's the case, then the timing of this will be off. I am paused where Shawnee Smith is looking at her snow globe. I'll put it that way. Where Shawnee Smith is looking at her snow globe, that's where I'm paused. So 3, 2, 1, pressing play. So it may not be exact, but she's looking at her snow globe and then she looks over. And then it's panning into her and it's going to have a cut right now to the parents. Sorry about that. I didn't know that was the case. That one version had a bit edited. So yeah, I will have to look at the Stream Factory release and see if that's the case. Or if you have a Stream Factory release or the 4K, whichever this is from, you can let me know. Unless this is some weird cut from a UK or something. But I don't think I'm watching that. Because the other stuff has been cut. So I don't know what the deal is. Anyway, sorry about that. That tangent. Just the cut, I mean, it's an HD version of the film. That's why I'm wondering if it's either a streaming or something else that I don't know. If anyone has info, please let me know. Anyway, that was still a really good death scene, though. I did really like that. And the Blob helped date rape. There you go. The date rapist. Now, Sharon Spellman, I believe, is the mom's name. as Margaret Penny. And of course, they're not going to believe her because, I mean, it's a crazy story to have, told to you. But she knows something's up, and she's got to do it right away. And there's the Blob getting through the gate. I do like that detail, seeing that ring, and then establish where it's going right then and there. I never did get the 4K of the Blob. I don't go out of my way to get 4Ks, since most of the time I'm fine with a Blu-ray. I really am. Go ahead. The best smart ass lick. I thought that's pretty funny. I liked that. A bit of a broken home. No, it ain't a joke, but I think you're funny. That's what he thinks. This is a joke? No, but I think you're fucking funny. See, this right here, again, I like this sheriff because he's stating facts. There's no evidence, there's not a drop of blood on him, there's no motive, so cut him loose. Again, I mean, how nice of that to have a sheriff that seems to know what the hell he's talking about. See, it's funny. I'm looking at another copy of the film online, and that scene is in it. So I don't know. I found some copy that for some reason has that out. So there you go. Yeah, I don't think they tape plastic. I mean, you can't really blame Kevin Dillon. I mean, he was not in jail, but I mean, he was picked up for something he didn't do. Sitting like Candy Clark has his sense of humor, has his sweetness to her. Did Kevin Dillon, can't really blame him. I mean, you had the bit with the 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 homeless man, all this other stuff, being picked up by cops. And Shawnee Smith, I mean, she's committed. I mean, you can't really blame her. She knows what she saw. She knows there's a danger to it. And knows it needs to be fixed right now. And this is where I say, you're full of shit, Flag. But you can understand her plight. You can understand her frustration. No one believes her. What she saw, this guy you being belted in front of her. I wouldn't be in my right frame of mind either. People think she's crazy. And this nice bit of bonding before the storm. Never heard you say the word shit before. How was that for you? But yeah, it's a way of establishing where you understand her seriousness, you understand his doubt, but at the same time, as soon as she is frazzled, he tries to help, he tries to calm her down, he tries to be friendly, like a decent person. So you keep that balance where you understand the frustration, you understand the confusion, you understand her anger that he doesn't believe her. But she says you're full of shit, but then leaves. But she's not being complete bitchy about it, complete mean, nasty, over the top, woman hear me roar type of BS you'd have today. And for him, it's like he's still the rebellious guy, but he's still got a good heart on him. So it is. You have two characters getting to know each other a bit. And they mean well, too. Damn, only two people in this establishment, and they got to feed a whole damn town, pretty much. Now, I don't know this guy's name. I don't know what he went on to do or what's up with this guy, but if this guy is watching, you definitely had a great, memorable death scene. Blob might have killed you for your hairnet, though, but it's not your fault. You had to wear the hairnet. I swear, each time I look at a sink now that's clogged up, I always think of this. I always think the blobs will come up and just see you things don't pull them down like this, but then a beat, and there you go. I did the idea that it like melted, shrank his head enough to pull his fucking head down. It just such a crazy scene. Creative death. I mean, you don't see deaths like this. Of course, you always have the horror trope that something awful's happening, but you're standing and staring and not running away. That's a trope for movies and monster movies, because we gotta see this. Great effect, too. Practical, technical. Obviously, that one shot was, I forget the exact term, the blob on the ceiling and the two characters that are in the same frame. I mean, they're in the same frame, but not in the same scene physically on set. So they shoot this, and they shoot these two running towards the camera. I forget what that's called, like a composite shot. But it's brief, and it works for its intended purposes. And of course, we've established first bit of business that it doesn't like the cold, just like in the original Blob. Now, for me, I'd be like, I'm not stopping until I get to the next town. I'm sorry, if I saw a motherfucker go down the sink head first, I'm running to Canada. If I don't know where this takes place in, but let's say if it was the actual town of Abbeville, Louisiana, I'm running to Canada. Then I'll think of stopping. And I'm not kidding. I saw a motherfucker go down the sink. Yeah, just a bad call to, Not yet, right, she's trying to get help, but just a bad call, Ripley, bad call. Obviously, the pressure makes it so she can't push open the door and get out. It reminds me of the thing like the octopus. Like if you give an octopus a bottle, and eventually it'll get inside the bottle, no matter what. There's Jeffrey DeMoon, which I think the first couple times I saw this, for some reason, I didn't. Ooh, that always felt like the most. That always felt like the most grisly death for me. Before I get to that, I don't know why the first couple of times I didn't catch that. Oh yeah, that is Jeffrey DeMoon's character, which is stupid of me not to get because you never see him again. It's like, where'd the sheriff go? Well, that's where he is. But that's a good, effect of seeing like the jaw and just. But then pulverized is the best way to describe it in that phone booth. Just the way I think they did, like it's like a doll or something. They just put a doll and then they put the like miniature or something. But it still looks like you just been. For example, the implosion if you're underwater at a certain depth and you just. That's what it seems like. I keep thinking the word pulverized, and that just I don't know, just creeps me out. Ever since I first saw this, that's creeped me out. And here's Del Close, getting his first look at the Blob. That's another one of those. That's another one of those ideas you call composite shots, where he is on one thing and then that's on another. More than likely, the other side is probably a miniature for the Blob to go in and then have him hit the back of his head. I mean, I could, well, I'll speak for myself. I could argue, well, not argue. I don't think you needed Del Close's character. I do think you could have deleted his character and would have been fine, honestly, because the only reason really his character's in here is for the sequel bad ending. I mean, if you think about it, it's we establish his character early on. We see him here because he gets these blob crystals. Later on, he gets burnt. And maybe the idea is that he's been burned and somehow maybe that fucks up his psyche or something. And then the Lord will give us a sign. Or give me a sign, whatever he says. And yeah, you could just edit all this out. Like if I was running the show, I would have just edited at least that scene and the end scene. Unless you're damn sure you don't need a sequel, I would just edit the shit out. I didn't know this was McGruff the Crime Dog poster back there on that door. Right be yeah, McGruff. Which I don't know how many people remember McGruff the Crime Dog. I remember there was this special, I think it was Drew Barrymore was in it. It was like these three kids, and then there was like a cartoon McGruff Crime Dog, and I can't remember. It's been so damn long, but it's one of those things that's like embedded in the back of my head. I know I've seen it, I know it exists. I'm sure I could find it on YouTube. It's like, anyway, take a bite out of a crime. But yeah, it's like bite my ass. But yeah, I don't think they do that anymore. McGruff the Crime Dog. There you go. When's he coming back for all this nostalgia coming back? But I do like these little exchanges between the characters. I think there's some fun bits of dialogue and some fun responses between them. Feel like fucking Hansel and Gretel here. I do like the look of this, where it's very foggy, has a bit of an atmosphere to it. And you're sitting here going, well, what the hell's going to happen next? Is something else coming for them? Something else even crazier coming? Is it a fucking spaceship or something? And then you find out, of course, it's the military. Scientists, however you want to put it. Now, this is definitely an addition that was not in the original The Blob, which I was fine with. The original The Blob was more about just this alien from outer space. Just a lot of stuff was about aliens, and hell, Santa Claus conquers the Martians. Well, that might have been 60s, but can't remember what year. But Earth versus the Flying Saucers. Every animal became a bit. There was Tarantula with an early role with Clint Eastwood as a pilot. I mean, there's tons of stuff about aliens, all different types of aliens, and the Blob was one of them. This was trying to be more of what's going on in the 80s. Distrust of the government. Don't believe the well, I mean, hell, you could say that for that's why, this works for me today. Still don't trust the government. Don't trust anything with the government. I don't care who. I don't care if it's Joe Biden, Joe Bidet, or Donald Trump, Donald Dump Truck. I don't like either one. I don't trust anybody in the government. I don't trust anybody. I think the government's always out to fuck you over in the ass with no lube. So, to me, this works. And you find out it's an experiment. It was a virus. Bacteria, I should say bacteria. That didn't bother me. Some people were bothered by the change. Now this guy here, this big son of a bitch. But yeah, that guy that was the doctor is John Seneca. Joe Seneca as Dr. Meadows, so our main human villain. And Joe Seneca, you may remember from Crossroads with Ralph Macchio. Sadly, he's passed away, but he did he did a couple films back in the day. I love this whole bit. I love that they put in a slasher within the movie. Because, I mean, 88, It was dying down, but you still had a lot of slashers. I mean, especially in the early '80s, like every week seemed to be a slasher. But there were still some. I mean, even the year after, Donovan Leitch was in Cutting Class. I mean, this year you had Halloween 4 and Elm Street 4 and Friday the 13th Part 7 and yeah, a lot of stuff. So, not sure. Was that. I think it is, but I want to double check. I think the guy who is the other kid's brother who checked them in the theater. Is that one of the Fraud brothers? I want to say. I forget the guy's name though. Jameson Newlander. I want to say. I want to double check though. Yeah, it's Anthony. Jameson Newlander. So obviously not this guy, but but oh, shut up, stomach. Sorry about that. If you hear that rumbling, I haven't eaten yet, but don't stick your head in the vent. There you go. The Blob hates your bow tie. Probably don't kill this guy because his fucking bow tie. Who the hell fucking wears bow ties? People that get killed by the Blob, that's who. See, the neighbor's rooster, they feel the same way. They don't like bow ties either. Even this, I mean, is nostalgic because they don't even use actual film projectors. It's all digital. Just so many cool moments of special effects. So ambitious and big budget and now we're back with Joe Seneca and our two leads. I know there's been talks of remaking the Blob, but they always fall through. Rob Zombie was going to do one, and his version I think was going to be like some kind of monument, some kind of pillar, some kind of thing. Some structure. They will like turn people into blob creatures. At least I've seen like from the artwork and such. I'm like, I don't know about that. I think Simon West was going to do it one time. The guy who did Lara Croft Tomb Raider and was a Con Air and Expendables 2. I know at one point Samuel L. Jackson was going to star in that one, but obviously that didn't work out. And you know, in a fun way, in a weird, if you think about it, these two kind of influence each other. As she puts it, you always think of yourself, and no one else, no one else volunteered for the job. So Kevin Dillon could have just ran away and been fine, but he goes back, finds out what's going on, and just how to dodge and warns them. ultimately saving Shawnee Smith. And Shawnee Smith gets a little bit of attitude, returns the favor, and saves Kevin Dillon. That's where he's leading the Blob to where he needs to go. It's funny, the soldiers, you think they would have been told, weren't there two people here? Where's the other guy? I don't know why I laugh at that. I like Arla Flores, like, movie? You didn't tell me there's a new movie coming out. Now, maybe he was saying it as, wait, you didn't tell me that he wanted to see him. But I just like the idea. It's like, wait, you didn't tell me there was a new movie? I love, it makes me wonder if they shot any more scenes for this fake slasher film. Because a lot of times they shoot more than they need. Well, there you go. That's what you get for talking in the movie. Goodbye. Man. I love this piece of music. One of my favorite pieces of music from the movie. That dun 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 dun. I even like the poster on the left of the slasher movie. That feels that seems like it would be that kind of poster. Well, hopefully you don't have epilepsy. But I actually think it works well in this. Oh, well, this is another, like, one of the more grisly effects. Oof. I still, like, after all these years, it still gets me. God damn. But I think the strobe lights actually help with the effects and hiding when it's picking all the people up. And just the idea of the Blob just picking people and just. I like, they really upped the ante with the Blob in this. Of course, we established the broken zipper. We're like, rip this fucking thing. Which, I mean, some people are like, well, just rip the coat. It's not that easy to rip a fucking coat. You try doing it. You try doing it, and then you go yell at the characters. It's hard to, I mean, people, oh, you think you're fucking Schwarzenegger, you think you're a bodybuilder, you rip a couple books in half. Try ripping a coat. Yeah, I think that guy's Jameson Newlander, who's out the window, who was in The Lost Boys as one of the Fraud Brothers, him and Corey Feldman. Unbeknownst to him, that's the last time he's going to see his brother. I just, for some reason, I thought we were going to see that guy again, but we don't. Right, I mean, he's not like a big important character, but. I mean, anyone who's had their hair pulled will know how much that fucking hurts. And here we're going to find out what's really going on. Bacteria, germ warfare test, they fucked up. Now again, he could leave. Like he said, he could have just left, got the hell out of Dodge. But he wants to know what's going on. He knows something's up. And if he had not done this, he would not know the truth. So he could tell the whole town as to what's going on. So you think it's a meteor, but you find out it is Man-made, right there. But I like this edition. I thought it worked well for the movie. But this is for a lot of movies back in the day. There's always the government doing a test, and the test screws up. I mean, Watchers. The I mean, it's based on a novel, but you had the monster and the dog, and it's a test and used for warfare, and there's always something to be used for warfare because there's the big Cold War. Even up to this point, it was us versus the Russians, which hell seems like might be that way again for fuck's sake. But I mean, what was a Rambo 3 same year as this? Which I know that was around the time that up now we're making peace, so this seems like a bit old hat. But now Sally's coming back around again, so it doesn't seem as old hat to us versus the Russians. But there you go. That's his purpose to yell that out and tell people. Damn. Expendable. Yep, there you go. There you go. Of course, he lies and says he's infected because they don't try to shoot first and ask questions later. The man, oh, well, we gotta shoot him because we'll be saving a lot of people and women and children, so. Dr. Meadows, you sack of shit. Not the actor, Joe Seneca, rest in peace to him, but. I know the Stream Factory had a lot of features, interviews. So, I mean, it was. I wish they just put them all together for just an actual full documentary on the film. Instead of just, here's one interview, beginning, middle, end. There's no, but. I think the interviews could have been done a bit better. And it's also the fact there's no Kevin Dillon. I mean, I don't know why he. I cannot find anywhere. That's a great job. Great stunt work there. Beautiful stunt work. With the helicopter in the back. But I cannot find any interviews where Kevin Dillon talks about the Blob. None. And I've tried. Maybe it's something about, oh yeah, my hair. Like, who cares? Like, no one gives a shit. If people really give a shit that much, they're the ones with the problem. I mean, I think you should be proud of the film. I would. If I was lucky enough to star in this, I'd be fucking proud of it. There you go, Lucas. If you ever do one of those, if he ever sees this, if you ever do one of those things like, he did a cool thing with Tremors, where he put me in Tremors. How about this? Like, put Raphael and Mighty in this. Raphael as me and Mighty as Shawnee Smith. Probably just without them kissing, they could be hugged at the end. And That'd be. There you go. I'll do the voice work. I mean, I'd be proud. I mean, Kevin Dillon should be proud, is what I'm saying. He is a great. I think he does a great job. He's a likable character. But yeah, if you don't know what I'm talking about, like Lucas was very nice. He drew like a bunch of drawings of the film Tremors and Tremors 2, especially Tremors 2, and he put me in it. I'm like, wow, this is that's so much work put into it. Very, very humbling. Oh, this is where we're gonna get the death of the death of the kid on the left there with the yellow, which is not something that happened all the time. I mean, I saw it in Precinct 13. You had the logo with the ice cream get shot. You watch some Italian films, you could see that. But for mainstream, big budget, it's not every day you got to see a kid get killed, in particular in a gory way. Like, I mean, the reveal. There's something else that's interesting, but this is a hell of a reveal here, right there. Just how melted and stuff he is, like Jesus. That's ballsy. I gotta say, it's pretty fucking ballsy. Pretty fucking ballsy. I do appreciate that. I know someone, I forget who it was, it's like they were watching this scene and it's like, oh, shoot your fit in there. If you could fit your head in there, and I'm like, you tried doing it. You don't get stuck. What are you talking about? She cannot fit in that damn thing. So I don't know what the hell that person was talking about. But one thing, the little detail is when this kid here, his friend and his sister are in the water, he mostly asks for his sister. I know people go, what's the big deal? Because you can understand, yes, this guy, the one kid was his friend and he cares for him. But he don't care for his sister more. His relative, and I don't know. If it just kept asking for his friend, you'd be like, well, how come he's not asking about if his sister's okay? I just one of those little details that if it's done the wrong way, it could make you go, what? But I don't know. Sometimes it would be like I do those like little details that might not mean anything to anybody else, but for me, it's like I do see another film doing it much more in a piss poor fashion. Again, you could say maybe a bit of a suspension of disbelief, but I guess part of that fun is escapism. But not a whole lot, because granted, if you have enough speed, I mean, it's like a skateboarder. You have enough speed, a skateboarder could go, in a 360 and all that. Same with someone's on a bicycle. How many times on a bicycle you see someone go and they go able to go around a circle? So it doesn't bother me as much as maybe it did back then. And now here we got Bill Moseley, which is crazy. They actually got him for an interview on that. Like Kevin Dillon's not willing to talk about the film, and he started it, but Bill Moseley's willing, and he's in this for a minute. But it's cool, still cool. It's like, oh, that's Bill Moseley. Yes, who had done, by this point, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. He did bit roles here and there until Rob Zombie started using him and stuff like House of a Thousand Corpses and The Devil's Rejects, and he'd be in other films as well. Of course, it's not about keeping it contained, it's about killing the witnesses to what they did. But thank God this one soldier had a bazooka. Because you notice the other soldiers, they don't have bazookas. I mean, I can't see any other one that has a bazooka. But thankfully, the one scientist, the one soldier they found. I mean, there's grenades. And there's other stuff, but. Talk to me, man. Meadows! Listen to this. Hey, I mean, he warned you. I like the fire that was around it as well. That's a nice little bit. Show that there was a bit of an impact from that damn thing. Another piece of music I love, that boom, 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 boom. And this just goes at such a good pace when it starts. It just pa 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 pa. And just the was the M16. There you go. Sorry, I'm just listening to the dialogue. I like the fact that you see the townsfolk coming closer so they can hear what's about what they're saying, including his buddy, Kevin Dillon's buddy there. Well, then you get what you deserve, Meadows. And I like that detail that it's so strong it breaks the damn gun. Like a damn toothpick. But that's how much force he pulled him down with. By the way, we're already like only 15 minutes left in the film, man. Only 15 minutes. Was it Chew on that slime ball. Man. It's depressing kind of watching this stuff because you don't see, like, they just don't make movies. They don't make movies like this anymore, man. And of course, because this film bombed. And Hollywood is going to follow because that trend of, understandably so, because it's a show business, follow the money. What makes money? The films that made money is shit like Maiden made money. So we got a sequel to Maiden. This is the crap that makes money. People wonder why I get so cynical about movies, why I get so pissed off about movies, why I get so angry about shit, because I see so many of these films back to the day that for some reason got shit on or got thrown away or got ignored. But yeah, this stuff here, the effects and the spectacle and all that. This is one of the shots coming up that's not the best. Right here, you see there's a bit of faded color on Kevin Dillon in them. They look a bit paler. But I like this right here. The fact you see the person like a pancake type of thing always got me. Like, just something about that. Something about that always got me. Like, oof. So you just grab people with this fucking like fly swatter. And here's to show what flamethrower can do or not do. Sally should let this Reverend burn since he's supposedly going to bring about the damn apocalypse. And of course, kind of in the vein of Ellen Ripley, she becomes sort of the de facto hero of this. But in a way, they both do. I mean, Kevin Dillon saved Shawnee Smith. Shawnee Smith is doing this. Everybody's trapped, and then Kevin Dillon is the one that gets the Blob away from this and save these people. There you go. Just all this chaos and mayhem, man. Yeah, get out of my fucking way. And they're trying, but you see the establish that they're running out of fire extinguishers. Here's this guy here, another good death. Ooh, like a wishbone. And they made the deaths worth it, I gotta say. They give you your money's worth, which is what I rarely get to see in movies nowadays. They give you your money's worth. They give you just a shitload of bad CGI, crap characters, the message, all this other bullshit. Not entertainment. spray the shit out of it. Maybe it's cocaine. You can get it fucking overdosed. Now, I don't know if you need to drive towards the thing. I think it would be better if you went backwards. Kind of keep going backwards on it. So you saved those people and got them out of it. There you go, got the plan. And this stuff is badass. The fact that guy is still alive makes it even more creepy. Of course, she doesn't know how to do a gun. Why would she? She's a cheerleader. I remember there was someone watching like, why she's having so much trouble with a gun? She's never used a fucking gun. How many M60 machine guns have you used, lady? Because there was a lady complaining about it. I'm like, how many have you fucking used? You could do better than that. Probably my favorite line from her. That's a badass, like, Ellen Ripley, Aliens type of moment. Now, of course, Chris, like, you're like, oh, talk about really? Like, got tripped over by some fucking tables. And I don't even know how she's caught. Like, how is she caught? And the fact that she got herself caught. Like, maybe if the Blob had done something that made her caught, okay, but, like, she gets herself caught. But ideas, yeah, if I will, have Kellen kind of return the favor as well and save her. There you go. We gotta end on an explosion. Come on now. We gotta end on an explosion. What a rush. What are you, Legion of Doom? No, of course. Told you we get snow, you just gotta have faith. You see Shawnee and Kevin Dillon together there in the back. And all this other stuff, so. This is where I usually shut the film off, and I'm not going to shut the commentary off, but this is where I usually shut the film off because I don't care for this shit because it doesn't matter. There's no sequel. There's never going to be a sequel. So this whole thing is just fucking pointless. So usually I either fast forward until you get the end credits and listen to the song by Alien, Brave New World. Which I do like the song. It's a really good song. Ironic that the band is called Alien, Brave New World. Now, I mean, do the lyrics of the song really fit the movie? I don't know. I mean, maybe. But it is a really good song. I do like it. In fact, I'll put the headphones back on when I the song pops up. Again, just a shame that this film bombed. Oh man, it would have been interesting to see what they did for a sequel. I mean, what they could have done, I don't know. I guess the typical thing would have been okay, put it in a bigger place like a city, but I don't know. I don't know what the story could have been. I also like the detail that it's this pink purple color for the credits, like the creature. I wonder how come Michael Kenworthy got the also starring. Billy Beck, he was the homeless guy. Oh, Rick Avery was one of the stunt people. Rick Avery, if that's the same one, would go on to direct some Jeff Speakman films like Deadly Outbreak. Brave New Love. I don't know why the fuck I kept saying Brave New World. Oh, 'cause that shitty fucking Captain America. Sorry, guys. You'd be like, what the fuck do you mean Brave New World? That stupid Captain America movie that came out stuck in my fucking head. Brave New Love. That fucking brain fart. But yeah, Brave New Love, not Brave New World. I'm getting old, folks. I'm getting old. Some of these shitty films are infecting my brain cells, so mea culpa, mea culpa. I apologize. But yes, Brave New Love. I don't know why. Sometimes my mind just goes off a pier at times, man. But if you hang in there, I'll eventually fix myself. With a brave new love. I mean, I guess maybe you say between Shawnee Smith and Kevin Dillon. You know, at least something there. But it's a good song. Loud Conway. I thought he did. Again, the effects guys did a wonderful job. Very ambitious project. I'm sure a very tough project. With so many effect sequences. And so much of it done practically. You're not going to see this again. This amount of practical stuff. Puppeteering and... Because if you do, it's going to be all CGI. It's going to look like shit. It's going to look cheap. Tony Gardner, the effects, makeup effects. I think Tony Gardner would also do Zombieland and 127 Hours. Tony Gardner did the amputation scene in 127 Hours. Very good makeup effects guy. Excellent gags in this for that. It's weird, you know, this movie has ended. I feel sad in a weird way. As dumb as that sounds, I feel sad. I feel sad that they don't make films like this. I feel sad that I can't look forward to movies with the iota, with the hint, the possibility that could be nearly as good as a film like this. And that's a fucking shame. But a lot of people don't know how to make movies nowadays. Or at least worth a shit. And yeah, there are films I like that come out. Don't get me wrong, there are. But not on the level of this. Just fucking shame. But what can you do? Great movie, great film, underrated still to this day. Still a favorite of mine. This went by like that, a breeze. So, thanks once again to Jonathan for the request. Thank you. Take care, everyone. Eat your Jell-O. Hopefully not from Bill Cosby. Probably drugged it. Thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye bye.